Hello there.
Hey, is that Pard?
That's me.
Hey, it's Levi calling from Sticks for Stones in Brisbane, Australia. How you going, my friend?
I'm doing well. It says that you're calling from the United States, but apparently not.
Oh, no, I'm in Australia. I don't know. I'm calling from Skype, so maybe I'm connected on the American server or something.
Okay. So Brisbane,
Yeah.
where we
Yeah,
haven't been before, but looking forward to come for the first time.
I think you'll like it here. We've got a strong legion of metal fans that I'm sure will get into your concert, so I think it'll be a good time for everyone when you come down.
Yeah, I am not worried about that. I think we will have an awesome time there, for sure.
Yeah. So, again, about the tour, you're going to be playing the first ever Download Festival in Australia. You looking forward to the festival, and have you ever played on a Download Festival before?
Yeah, we played a couple of download festivals in Europe, and we played a lot of festivals over the years.
Hmm.
And it's gonna be great. Uh, we have never played a festival in Australia, of course, but
Hmm.
it's gonna be great, I'm sure. And there's a lot of good bands there, so it's gonna be great.
Mm.
And for the fans, it will be super, I'm sure. But also look forward to the side shows, and those were a necessary thing for us to do. We were supposed to come already in October this year
Yeah.
to Australia, but the organizer of Download were like, maybe we should reconsider that and do Download instead. And I was not interested in doing just Download.
Hmm.
So when the idea about side shows came up, it was like, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now it's gonna be more interesting.
Hmm. You're touring with them on a month. I'm just wondering, what do you think of those guys as a band? I know they're kind of similar in the way, they're into Vikings and you kind of got the same themes, but the musical approach is a little different. What do you think about their music?
We are great friends, and I like their music. And we toured together before, so even if there was a few of their loud fans that made some noise before the tour and saying that you can't tour with Sabaton, I mean you don't fit together or whatever. But once the evening started, it was fine. Everybody was super happy. It was a great atmosphere in the venue. So we are both bands that fit together. We are both from Sweden. We are good friends, and uh, so I see definitely no whatsoever problem with that.
Mm. Uh, with a lot of your songs, you talk a lot about, war and glory, conquest, honor. I'm just wondering, where did, your interest in history and, heroic, you know, novels and whatnot come about?
Uh, we need to write about something, of course.
Hmm.
We need to do to have a topic for the band, and we have the topics and themes for the songs.
Hmm.
And instead of making up something or writing something about, I don't know, some random stuff, we decided we wanted to write about real stuff from history. And we thought, okay, there's different kind of history. There's whatever different history, but the war history fits with heavy metal,
Mm.
and it's the part of history which we find most interesting. So we decided to go for that, and we like this theme. There we have stumbled upon so many great fates and stories that we some of those we have made into songs and made worldwide famous.
Hmm.
And I'm I'm excited to write them, and every time we sing them because I know they mean something.
Yeah.
They are not just made up lyrics.
Yeah. I feel like Manowar seems like a big influence, and I know those guys have broken up, or I think they're finishing their last tour. What do you think about those guys calling it quits, and what did their music mean to you?
Manowar has been a source of inspiration for Sabaton,
Hmm.
and they were around when we started, and we listened a lot to Manowar by then. And we have since then met Manowar, played with Manowar, and they are a fantastic band who definitely put a big stamp into heavy metal, doing everything their own way.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna miss them when they are gone.
Yeah, for sure. Um, when you think about like 50 years from now, how do you think Sabaton will be remembered? Do you think we'll have bands like another band like Ronnie James Dio or Black Sabbath, do you think we'll remember you in the same way that you'll be another like legend of heavy metal history? Is that what you hope?
We are not the pioneers of the genre,
Yeah.
so in that way we won't be. But on the other hand, generations change,
Hmm.
and I can look to myself, and there are some artists that influenced those people, and every generation has their peak moments, and
Hmm.
I know that there are a lot of people in this world who says, I don't care about Black Sabbath. They were all guys,
Yeah.
and I like Sabaton more because they are cooler. And there are people who say things like that, and it's just natural. It's a change of generations in that
Hmm.
way. A younger generation have difficulties to take in the albums because if you listen to a Black Sabbath album, for example, you will hear the production is not really representing the youth of today.
Hmm.
So they have difficulties, and when they look at them, they're like, they don't really look like I want to look. But of course, Black Sabbath in 1970 looked like the people were supposed to look in 1970s. And I'm not saying that Sabaton looks like the way people should be looking in 2017 because
Yeah,
we
for
don't
sure.
really look very, especially our singer doesn't really look so representative. Sorry,
Oh, that's all right.
I
See
I had
another call.
another there was another phone call here. Um, so okay, I'm back. You're here.
Yep.
So I know that we influence as younger people,
Hmm.
while uh, some backwards looking people they get angry and they're like but it was better before. So,
Yep.
but there's also we have a huge amount of crowd which belong to an older generation as well. It says yeah, I was around when Sabbath and Priest was around, and those were really good times. But I still think there is a lot of good bands coming out today, and those kind of people. They're open-minded. I like those kind of people.
Yeah, for sure. Well, someone's got to carry on the torch from all the legends, and you guys are doing a
Exactly.
good job.
I can't understand the people that blame us when they say, oh, there's like young people going to Sabaton shows. I get so upset when somebody says that.
Yeah.
Are young people not allowed to be future metalheads?
Yeah.
Where all the true metal people, where they're born like, okay, you just born 30 years old metalhead? No, you grow up, everybody grows up. So it's just a stupid way to think like that. And we often fight against age limits. I know that in Australia we couldn't really do it. It wasn't really our shows to our call to make, but in the rest of the world we fight against age limits. And that's why some people say, oh, Sabaton shows is full of kids. Yeah, full of hope, full of future for metal.
That's
That's
how
what
I
I
see
say.
it. Now I know you guys like really started releasing a lot of albums kind of after 2005, but you actually formed in 1999. I'm just wondering, what were those first six Sabaton years like?
They were, of course, very funny because everything was so new, and the slightest little thing means so much. Oh, we have a fan in Germany. Wow, or look at this, somebody all the way from Australia listening to Sabaton. This were so everything was so cool because we didn't know much by then. So I remember every little. There was a lot of those how to say small little triumphs that we don't have as many now because we have raised the bars quite a lot before we feel them. And so the first years were very exciting. On the other hand, we had the troubles with the Metalizer who kind of almost killed us
Hmm.
when the record label refused to release it, even though we had it already in 2002. But they refused to release it. And after a few years, we went on and did something on our own. But that was nearly killing us. But I definitely remember the first years as very interesting and exciting for
Hmm.
me personally. It was a lot of learning years.
Hmm. You're now signed with Nuclear Blast Records, and they seem to be kind of the premier heavy metal label these days. That got all the big bands. What are those guys like to work with?
They're great to work with. They are the biggest heavy metal record label in the world.
Hmm.
They're still an independent one, so we never worked with somebody on a mainstream level, one of the gigantic record labels or anything. And
Hmm.
this has also led, that we stand outside of the possibilities to have mainstream radio supports or stuff like that. So we have been doing it our way all the time. We are self-managed since day one, and we still manage ourselves and take care of everything ourselves. And this is one of the reasons I think also that some radio stations doesn't want to promote us and stuff. But we grow every day, and we get stronger and stronger. So we're fine.
For sure. I'll just ask one more question. What are your plans for 2018? Have you got more tours lined up, and can we expect any new music next year?
We are not gonna do that much of touring. We have been touring extensively the last years, and we did a lot 2017 and 2016. So 2018, we need to focus on a new album. We have to take a little bit of time off from touring and focus on a new album. It's difficult to keep up the songwriting cycle that we used to have when we are touring more than ever. So we will have to take a little bit of break in touring to make a new
Mm,
album.
sounds like a good plan. I will be at hopefully two of your shows, the Brisbane show and also the festival in Melbourne. So I'll get to see Sabaton twice. So I'm looking forward to that, and also the Almighty Amon Amarth, who I think are one of the best metal bands out there as well. So I'm looking forward to it, and good luck with the tour.
Thank you. It's going to be awesome. We can't wait, and it's happy to see that their interest is still there, even though we have only been to Australia one time before, and it took a couple of years until we returned. So happy that people are still sticking on with us.
Awesome. Thanks very much for taking time out.
Thank you.
Bye.